Hello and welcome to Halftime Live. It's Liverpool 0, West Ham United 0 in the FA Cup fourth round at Anfield. I'm Gio from Hammers Chat. I've got Gonzo and Charlie with me as well, and we're in conjunction and partnership with Clad and Hugh for this show. Gonzo, without specifying any particular incident, how's your feelings on the first half?
I think they started all guns blazing. Obviously, it's a severely depleted, or should I say weakened, chosen by the manager, Liverpool team. I think they really pressed. They stuck in a couple of high crosses at the start. We weathered the storm, and it's not the finest quality game, but I'm quite confident of getting into it.
Charlie, it looks like it's going to be a one moment win the game type round of the FA Cup going by the first 45. Is the Payet free kick we saw that hit the post the type of magic that we're going to need to break this Liverpool side down so far?
Yes, although I think the best chance was Enner Valencia's header. If he could have diverted that on target, then I think we would have been pretty good for the rest of the game. But Payet has been again outstanding. That cheeky little shot from that far, but then there's also been a few times where just their defence, their right back and right midfield, just could not deal with him, didn't know what to do, and Cresswell just running outside, he lays him through. It's been like that the entire game.
Well, you touched on the header there, Gonzo. Just how terrible was that miss? Is that not a sitter? He gets on target, he scores, as the commentators would say. What did you make of that?
Well, it was on target. It's just the target was he was trying to head it out for a throw-in. I think Valencia. I think the commentator said he was unsighted. I think that's probably true. The thing that I've noticed about Valencia, he's fallen over 3 times. So I don't know if there's a problem with his studs and he needs to change his studs or something. But I think he's starting to look more sharp. I don't know if positionally he's going to change slightly as well. Now the substitutions have been made due to injury and Jelavic has come on.
But Gonzo, you said, you and the commentator said he's unsighted, but he can see the ball coming. And okay, Lovren goes up for it, but surely as a striker in the Premier League, should you not be anticipating the flight of the ball without the defender there? Okay, you can't see it for 2 seconds. Should he not be anticipating where that ball's coming?
Yeah, he should, but as you know, I'm not Valencia's biggest fan anyway. But I just think he's got a run, and that is his chosen position. That's where he plays for Ecuador in the middle, and he's a poacher. I think there's probably something more fundamental. He's a very good header of the ball for a man of his stature. He does spring well, and he does get good perches on his header. So I think there was probably something more fundamental there, like he was unsighted or he's slipping. I think he's struggling to grip the pitch. So I really do think there's something wrong with his footwear.
Well, halfway through the half, Payet's cross came in, Kouyate's header. Everybody, 4 or 5 West Ham players screamed penalty. Charlie, it came off Brad Smith's arm. Penalty or no penalty for you?
I'm going to get hate for this, but no penalty is too close.
Gonzo, penalty, no penalty.
No, if it would, when the ball initially came over it and hit his arm, then fine. But actually, it was the ricochet that then went onto the arm. So no, I don't think there's any way that really could have been hand to ball.
Gonzo, what do you make? Everyone knows I'm not a big fan of him, but Moses, is he frustrating you this half, or is it just me? Have I got my tinted specs on here? But is he frustrating you? Because I'm seeing a lot of high balls coming towards him, and he's standing there letting his opponent get a free header on it. Now, look at our right back, Tompkins has gone off. Now, Joe Allen was never winning that header. He's too small, he's never getting it, but he makes sure he slams into Tompkins and lets him know he's there. You get told that at all ages of people. Is Victor Moses frustrating you in this 45?
Yeah, but not for the same reason as you, and it's not just you that he's frustrating. There's been some frustrations on the forum in the match thread as well. What frustrates me about him is he seems to try and he shows the defender too much of the ball. So when Payet dribbles, he dribbles with a purpose, and then he gets his body in between the defender and the ball. He tries to move the ball away from the defender. Moses is constantly teasing the defender, showing him the ball, saying, here's the ball, look, here's the ball, and often it will get taken off of him. And crikey, we used to criticise Zarate for hanging on to the ball for too long. Moses does that. He just spends too much time. Just think, do your stuff, release the pass, or make a cross. I don't think there's a lot of end product there.
Well, guys, if you're watching, there's a Google Plus function called Q&A where you can give us your questions. Sean Weststone's given us his question. Charlie, I'll fire it to you. He's asking, how's Joey O'Brien doing so far for you? Because Sean thinks he's a solid performance for the 15 minutes he's been on.
I think he's always been a solid performer. He's just not a glamorous option. He's a decent player, but he's not top 6 Premier League material. Let's be honest about it. But I mean, he's a guy who's incredibly versatile. He can play centre mid, centre defensive mid, right back, left back. He can play basically anywhere, and he'll give you a decent performance. And the first thing he did was come on and turn one of Liverpool's defenders out of nowhere. I think he'll be fine. He's not a great player, but he's also just solid, basically.
Yeah, it sums him up well. Before he turned that Liverpool defender, he did get the ball and run towards our own goal when he first came on, and that put me in a panic. Gonzo, do you think Tompkins was struggling today? I actually thought Tompkins was struggling a wee bit until he went off, and I think it could be one of those blessings in a wee way that he got that head knock so he could go off, because I thought the left back was overlapping, and I think they had his number because he isn't a right back, and I think this is the first time I've seen him exposed for his lack of full-back capabilities.
Yeah. Maybe, but I'm a little bit conscious, a little bit on a downer with it here. We've got issues at right back, and I think my first choice at centre back would be Tompkins alongside Reed, despite the signings. So yeah, perhaps he was a little bit, but he's had a knock. He's probably been forced back earlier than he wanted to, and I think O'Brien's come in and he has, in answer to Sean's question, I think O'Brien's looked really decent. I'm very happy with him. What I would say on the bigger picture, I still think in Song we've probably got the best midfielder on the pitch. Up until that point, it was Coyote, who had looked excellent. I also think in Payet we've got the best attacker on the pitch. I think we've got the best defenders on the pitch. I do think, and Bilic knows what to do in the second half. I expect us to come out here and do something.
Well, just in case we've got any Liverpool fans watching, because we've had opponents when we did the Newcastle one, we had Newcastle fans watching. Charlie, how impressive is Brannigan? Now, I've never heard of him. I had to double check he wasn't saying Flanagan at the start of the game, but his set pieces look on point. He had that effort which Randolph had to pull off. World-class save, maybe you'd have to say. That it was a very, very impressive save. How good is this Brannigan looking for you, Charlie?
Yeah, I'm actually quite impressed with all of their small midfielders. I mean, I recognise some of their names, but I certainly would know nothing about them. I've actually been pretty impressed with all of them. They're not exactly going to run through Kouyaté, Obiang, and Song. They're all huge midfielders. They're not going to run through them, but when they're passing the ball about, they're doing it pretty well. And yeah, as you said, Brannigan for me has been now the outstanding performer for them, and he looks like if you look at all of their players, I think him and their left back,
Brad Smith.
Yeah, I think they're both going to look. They both look like the two who are going to create something most out of that team.
Gonzo, they've been whipping crosses in. I think all their crosses have been dangerous. Has Randolph been Mr. Safe Hands to you? Because pre-season everybody panicked because he was flapping in the friendlies and that, but I think he's been fantastic dealing with the crosses today. Is he reassuring you today, Gonzo?
Yeah, well, you mentioned the save. The save was outstanding. I think people were also worried that before did he let in 16 goals in 2 games against Bournemouth last season or something like that for when he played for Birmingham. So I think people were worried. But also he was fantastic in the qualifiers for the Republic of Ireland. So he is a safe pair of hands, to coin a phrase, and an excellent backup reserve keeper for us. But the crosses, I don't think Liverpool have done that all season, the way they've been crossing. I think that's probably why Benteke struggled. But yeah, so I think they're playing it slightly differently. But I still think we'll do them.
Is that their best chance of scoring tonight, Gonzo, their crosses? Because I think they're looking threatening anyway. I think if they're going to score, it's going to come from a cross or a set piece.
Yeah, I mean, let's make no bones about it. I grew up watching the Liverpool teams of Dalglish and Rush and that sort of thing. This is a very, very average Liverpool team, and I as much as you might praise, Brannigan or Jordan Ibe or whoever else, Teixeira's looked okay, but I mean, I still think they don't have a fullback as good as Cresswell, and the players that I mentioned earlier, all the best players are West Ham players here, so yeah, they're going to have to cross it, because I don't think they're we shouldn't lose against this team. You can never compensate against a 30-yard screamer, but we should have enough to nullify them.
Well, before we disappear, I've got one important question for these guys. Before we get onto that, worth noting, Martin Atkinson's the referee. 4 of our last 6 goals under Martin Atkinson have come from free kicks. 3 direct, 1 from a cross, and Kouyaté's header against Arsenal. I think it's going to be a game of a set piece. Most important question, though, Charlie, would you take a draw right now? Would you take a replay at Upton Park?
No.
Gonzo, would you take a replay?
Yeah, only because it means I can stay at my mum's on the 6th of February and go to the Southampton game. But that's just me being selfish.
Well, for you fans out there that don't know, if we draw tonight and the replay does go ahead, the Southampton game on February the 8th gets moved. We'll be back near enough tonight at some point. We'll be up with a match review. We'll have Sean Weststone from Clarendon Hugh on with us. The match report will also be on clarendonhugh.info, and also if you're coming in to discuss interact with other fans, come on to our forum at hammerchat.boards.net, our 100% free forum. All the links are below on the YouTube description. Gonzo Charlie, thank you. I've been Gio. We've been hammerchat.com in partnership with Clarendon Hugh.